Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Friday, October the 11th. Starting at the top of the board with the Boston Bruins. They've waived Mitchell. Looks like he's the only one on waivers today, so we'll see whether or not he clears because there's a couple of claims to talk about today. Poitras could very well make his season debut for Boston against the LA Kings tomorrow. He has missed the first two games of the season, but it sounds like he's really close and he's excited about the possibility of playing in tomorrow's game. Macklin Celebrini sets a record. I did talk about this in the review. I figured I should touch on it in the news video as well. The fastest number one pick to get his first NHL goal. So in terms of ice time, he is the first. He is the fastest, beating out Mario Lemieux for the fastest to get his first goal. The expectations for Celebrini aren't in the Lemieux range, but you know what? The kid looked great last night. San Jose was fast. They were fun to watch. We'll see how this season goes. I don't expect a lot of wins, but at least they could be fun to watch. Kevin Lankinen is going to start for the Vancouver Canucks tonight against Philadelphia. Shelov's had a shaky start against Calgary. He was not alone in that either. Vancouver had a shaky game after getting up 4-1. It will be interesting to see how they play against a John Tortorella coach team in Philadelphia, who may not have made the playoffs this past season, but they weren't an easy victory for other teams either. So we'll see how Lankinen does and compare his numbers to Shelov's and everything as the year goes along. The Vegas Golden Knights claimed Lavoie again, so he's gone on waivers. So first the Oilers put him on waivers, he goes to Vegas. Vegas puts him on waivers, he goes to Edmonton. Edmonton puts him on waivers, he goes back to Las Vegas. The good news is, while there was another claim the last time, and that's why he had to be put on waivers again by Edmonton, this time there were no other waiver wire claims. So Lavoie goes straight to Henderson now. The Henderson Silver Knights get him. Keep in mind that later on in the season, this could technically happen again. A player has to be placed back on waivers. I think 30 days is the guideline, and then after 30 days, if they're going to send a guy to the minors, you have to put him on waivers again. So in the event that Vegas has injury issues, Lavoie gets called up. Depending on how long from now that is, they may have to put him on waivers again, and who knows, maybe Edmonton gets him back. So at this point, the saga is done, but we'll see if it remains done or not. Kahkonen has been claimed by Colorado from Winnipeg. I'm surprised by this because both Annunen and Georgiev, it looks like, are entrenched as the goaltenders. Kahkonen's numbers a bit up and down here and there. But this does clear things up for Winnipeg, too. It does mean now it's Hellebuck and Comrie as the goaltending tandem. Kahkonen goes to Colorado. You have to think that they're gonna keep him around. Is there an injury we don't know about at this point? Are they going to make another move? Is Annunen going to end up going to the AHL? We'll keep an eye on that. I don't think Annunen needs waivers to be sent down either. So we'll see what the Avalanche have in mind. Timothy Liljegren, who has been in the news really since signing that extension with Toronto, and not in the news for that extension, but in the news for really the idea of where does he fit on that Toronto blue line. Apparently, they've been trying to move him since the summer. David Pagnotta reporting that while he hasn't formally requested a trade, word has it that he wouldn't mind a change of scenery. Liljegren's a decent young defenseman, but apparently Toronto's either asking too much or teams just don't think much of Liljegren's potential to become a top four defenseman. Either way, the Toronto Maple Leafs looking to move the player. We will see where he ends up. Maybe he ends up wearing a Sharks jersey, right? Because the Sharks, I think when you look at the blue line, they could definitely use another guy or two there for depth reasons. But Liljegren's price tag might be too high. We'll see. We'll see where he ends up. But let me know your thoughts. Go ahead. Predict where you think Timothy Liljegren ends up. Dylan Guenther, with the 4 goals he has in the 2 games playing for Utah, dating back to last season, he now has 16 goals in his last 25 games. It is always interesting to me when guys get these extensions and people react to them. And the Guenther reaction, there was a lot of, he hasn't done anything and he hasn't even done a full season yet, but he was trending in this direction. You could see as the season wore on last year that Guenther was, getting to the point where he was going to be a bona fide top 6 forward, maybe a top line forward. And again, as a Canuck fan, it hurts a little bit because that was the draft pick the Canucks gave up to get rid of the Eriksson, Beagle, and Roussel contracts in order to pick up Ekman Larsson. and Garland. And I love Garland in Vancouver, I do, but still, Dylan Guenther looks like a fantastic young forward, and 16 goals in his last 25 games tell you he looks for real. Detroit, upper body injury for Petrie. He won't play tomorrow, so they've recalled Hall. So Hall cleared waivers earlier in the week. Now he's back. And this is why it's always interesting that before the season starts, we get into who's on waivers and who isn't, who made the team and who didn't. It doesn't really last that long. So Hall's back up for Detroit. With Rooney being moved to IR by Calgary, they haven't disclosed the injury, but the way he hit the boards, I wouldn't be surprised if his shoulder, neck, concussion, anything really. They've recalled Kirkland from the AHL. Kirkland can fill in in a fourth line role. Ryan Lindgren spotted at practice for the New York Rangers today, but he is sporting a no contact jersey. So usually it's around a week after they return to practice with a no contact jersey on, but with Lindgren we shall see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always, and thankfully the Lavoie saga is at an end for now. But do let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.